who or what may have pushed an ancient Egyptian pharaoh, 1374 years before Christ, to abandon the traditional Amun cult, transfer the capital from Thebes to Amarna, reign in it, with one of the most beautiful women of antiquity at his side, Queen Nefertiti, and then deown her 5 years before dying but keeping her at his court? Amenhotep IV, that is, Akhenaten, presumed father of Tutankhamun, perhaps from the second bride, the favorite, Kia, however, in turn, repudiated from the pharaoh a year before Nefertiti, is one of the most important yet mysterious figure in the history of ancient Egypt. So much mysterious, also because of the destruction of documents and monuments dedicated to him, already begun with the reign of his son with the intention of removing his memory, that some speak of a possible extraterrestrial manipulation. Basically, Akhenaten, son of Amenhotep III, would have been an alien hybrid, or rather he would have been genetically manipulated by ancient alien visitors. Is this possible? For sure, Akhenaten had thin legs and arms, large basin, and an elongated skull. At least these were the most striking features of the few representations of Akhenaten whose mummy has been identified, along with that of his wife, Queen Nefertiti, who for some would have reigned after him as Nefertiti before the ascension to the throne of Tutankhamun, only in 2009 among the anonymous mummies found in 1890 in the tomb of Amenhotep II, that reached us, characteristics quite different from the pharaohs who had preceded him, and instead that was found partly in his child, Tutankhamun. But to give a further impulse to the hypothesis of an at least partly alien origin of the heretic pharaoh was also a study conducted a few years ago by a team led by Stuart Fleischmann, assistant professor of comparative genomics at the Swiss University in Cairo. You can find the summary of the study presented in May 2008 at 14th Conference of Historical Clinicopathology at Davidge Hall here. Fleischmann and his team studied 9 samples of DNA from Egyptian pharaohs, and just what is presumed to belong to Akhenaten presented an abnormal prevalence of the CXPAC5 gene. Could it be the proof of a genetic manipulation occurred 2.400 years ago? Normally this gene expands with 2 processes, extreme aging or an extreme mutation. But Amenhotep IV/Akhenaten should have lived no more than 45 to 50 years, which would leave room only for the second hypothesis, but opening a second and even more disturbing question: who could approach the pharaoh to perform genetic experiments, perhaps during a dressing on him? Could it be connected to the removal first of the favorite and Kia, then of Nefertiti, women with beauty perhaps even too perfect for the era in which they lived? Had Pharaoh been conditioned and therefore started his theological and political revolution? Many questions, few answers, as always. Yet the mystery is so fascinating that there is no doubt that further studies will be undertaken to try to answer these questions and thus shed light on who they really were, Amenhotep IV/Akhenaten and his queens.